Welcome back to Sir Boats Yacht, the place where we explore the most fascinating vessels from the past and present. Today we are diving into a piece of naval history that blends elegance with functionality. The vintage Royal Navy steam launch. These boats were more than just auxiliary craft. They were a lifeline for crews, a workhorse for countless tasks, and a symbol of British naval engineering at the turn of the 20th century. In this episode we will take you through its key features, design choices, interior elements, performance capabilities, and what makes this steam launch a remarkable artifact worth preserving and celebrating. When we talk about a Royal Navy steam launch, we are referring to a small steam-powered vessel often between 40 and 60 feet in length, designed to serve larger capital ships or perform independent duties in harbors and coastal waters. The steam launch was a crucial tool in the naval toolkit of its time, built with robust materials and designed to withstand the challenges of saltwater service. These launches combined the strength of industrial-era engineering with the finesse expected of Royal Navy craft. They were often fitted with a coal-fired or oil-fired boiler which powered a small reciprocating steam engine, providing steady and reliable propulsion. While their top speeds were modest, these launches weren't built for racing. They were built for dependable service in any condition. The design of these boats reflected the dual needs of practicality and appearance. Many of them had a graceful sheer line with a pronounced bow that cut through choppy harbor waters with ease. Their hulls were typically made from wood or composite construction, reinforced with frames that ensured durability over years of use. The most striking visual feature was the upright smokestack, rising proudly amidships, a telltale sign of their steam-powered heart. Paired with a small wheelhouse or open helm, these launches were relatively simple to operate, yet exuded a sense of naval prestige. Some were armed with a small deck gun, giving them a defensive capability which was particularly important during wartime duties, and these weapons, while modest, added a layer of versatility to what might otherwise seem like a humble auxiliary craft. Stepping inside, or rather aboard, one of these steam launches, you find an interior that was as functional as it was minimalistic, depending on the intended purpose of the launch. The interior could vary, but most shared common features. Forward, you would often find a small, open or partially enclosed cockpit where the crew operated the vessel. Behind that was the boiler room, which, although compact, was the beating heart of the launch, feeding steam to the engine through a labyrinth of pipes and valves below. Deck space was often limited, but could include a small compartment for crew rest or equipment storage. In some launches designed for transporting officers, you would even find a more refined passenger area featuring simple wooden benches, brass fittings, and varnished paneling, giving a touch of elegance to the otherwise utilitarian interior. It is fascinating how even the smallest vessels in the Royal Navy carried a sense of dignity and craftsmanship. From a performance perspective, the Royal Navy steam launch was not a speed demon, but it excelled in reliability. These boats could reach speeds of roughly 8 to 12 knots. Depending on their size and engine configuration, they were capable of operating in all sorts of conditions, from calm harbors to the rolling swells of open coastal waters. The steam engines were designed for endurance, allowing the launch to keep running for hours on end without faltering. Fuel efficiency varied between coal and oil-fired variants, but in either case they carried enough fuel to handle extended trips between larger vessels and shore installations. The handling characteristics were predictable and steady, which made them perfect for ferrying personnel, transporting supplies, or even acting as patrol vessels in wartime scenarios. The unique selling points of a Royal Navy steam launch are what make it so fascinating to collectors, historians, and enthusiasts today. First is its versatility. These launches were true multi-role platforms capable of serving as officers' tenders, armed patrol boats, or workhorses for hauling goods and equipment. Second is their craftsmanship. They were built during a period when even functional naval craft were given attention to detail. The varnished wood, brass fittings, and balanced proportions of these boats reflect a bygone era of naval design. Third is their historical significance. These steam launches often played quiet but vital roles in both world wars, shuttling men and materials between larger warships and shore bases, and sometimes performing life-saving rescue missions. They were the unsung heroes of the fleet. Another element worth appreciating is how these launches embodied the transition from sail and oar to fully mechanized vessels. They carried forward the traditions of naval craftsmanship but introduced the reliability and consistency of steam power. In many ways they represent the Royal Navy's adaptation to the industrial age, a time when technology was rapidly reshaping naval warfare and logistics for today's maritime enthusiasts. Restoring or preserving one of these launches means preserving a chapter of naval evolution. It is not just about owning a vintage boat, it is about safeguarding a piece of living history. If we consider the experience of operating one of these vessels, it is clear why they remain such a point of fascination for collectors and museum curators alike. The process of firing up the boiler, feeding fuel and carefully monitoring steam pressure is an intimate hands-on experience that brings you closer to the mechanical soul of the boat. It is an experience far removed from simply turning an ignition key. There is a rhythm to managing a steam-powered craft, a balance between maintaining pressure, steering and coordinating with your crew that makes operating a launch as much an art as it is a science. Today many surviving steam launches are either displayed in maritime museums or lovingly restored by private owners and historical societies. They often feature in classic boat shows and naval heritage events, drawing crowds who appreciate the timeless aesthetic and mechanical ingenuity. The restoration process itself can be challenging but deeply rewarding. Rebuilding the wooden hull, repairing aged boilers and recreating period-correct fittings is an act of devotion that keeps these vessels alive for future generations. From a collector's perspective, a Royal Navy steam launch offers something rare. It is a tangible connection to the everyday lives of sailors from a century ago. Unlike massive battleships or cruisers, these launches bring history down to a human scale. You can imagine the conversations had on deck, the sense of relief when they ferried men back from perilous missions, or the quiet satisfaction of a crew performing the duties with discipline and pride. There is an intimacy to these boats that makes them deeply personal historical artifacts. In conclusion, the vintage Royal Navy steam launch is more than just an old boat. It is a testament to British naval ingenuity, a symbol of an era when functionality and form went hand in hand, and a reminder of the unsung vessels that made up the backbone of naval operations. These launches may not have the glamour of battleships or the speed of modern patrol craft, but their enduring charm lies in their quiet reliability and historical significance. Whether you are a naval historian, a collector, or simply someone who appreciates the elegance of vintage vessels, the steam launch offers a story worth exploring. Thank you for watching this deep dive into the vintage Royal Navy steam launch here on Sir Boats Yacht. If you enjoyed this exploration into naval history, be sure to like, subscribe and share your thoughts in the comments. What do you think of these classic steam-powered launches? Would you like to see more videos covering vessels of this type? Stay tuned for our next episode, where we continue uncovering the fascinating world of historic and modern yachts and workboats. Until next time, this is Sir Boats Yacht signing off.